Hey guys, we're out here at NADA. We had a chance to catch up with Cody Carter, who is basically the #1 Toyota salesperson, in my opinion, and maybe even like salesperson across the entire world. So Cody, thank you for catching up with us.
Yeah, definitely. And really, I am #1 at this point. This as of last year.
It's official, right?
The report's coming out here in the next month or so. But
yeah.
what we see, I should be #1 for Toyota.
Yeah, that's cool. So I guess a few things. Like one, what does it take to get to where you're at? And two, you have so much knowledge about how to help people do the same thing, and you're so willing to share that with people. So what do you attribute your success to?
So a lot of it comes down to leasing, right? Because you want to build that pipeline, constantly have the guests coming in, right? So a lot of areas they're not big on leasing. When I started with Toyota, I was in a small rural area, and that was the thing. Let's learn it, guarantee yourself some success. And honestly, at the end of the day, that's really what it is. These customers are calling you every 2 to 3 years. It's time to reset. And so for me, leasing has been prime. That's huge for me.
Sure. Yeah. So you've been at the Tustin store now for, is it 5 years? How long?
So I think April, it should be 8 years I've been here. I've been with Toyota overall 12 years. I spent some time in Arizona for 4.5.
Sure. So also walk me through what it takes to really sell over 100 units a month. So I think the number was 1401 for last year. What's the number? What do you average? How do you do that?
So your average is a little bit over 100 cars a month, which is pretty insane for most dealers. Don't do that, right? It comes down to process. It comes down to my website. So I have my own website within the dealer group. So there's TustinToyota.com. There's also Cody.TustinToyota.com as well. So I have my own version running on Roadster. So the customers just go in, click and buy, so that digital experience. But with me, it's zero negotiation. It's what you see there is what you're going to get. There's nothing to it. So the experience in store, in and out in 30 minutes, it's life-changing for most people who are tired of getting messed with at the dealer.
Yeah. So I think that comes down to customer experience that makes a difference. So how did you unlock that, and how did you find a way to really make it so they can go in and out in 30 minutes? Because I think time is so valuable for people.
Yeah, so I had talked to someone a long time ago, a couple years ago, and they said, figure out what your biggest constraint is and change it, right?
Sure.
My biggest constraint was finance.
Sure.
You line these customers up for an hour to wait to get into finance, spend another hour, and the experience just wasn't there, right?
Sure.
Luckily, our store has a Subway, so you're hey, here's free Subway.
That's right.
But
it's a little bit different when there's a Subway.
Yeah, so it helps us out. But at the end of the day, it was I need to take on this finance experience myself. So I'm basically start to finish. I'll do everything with my assistant Hannah, who helps me. But yeah, so we want you to submit all your documents before you arrive. You already picked your car, so you're just coming in and just doing paperwork, which is already ready. And a lot of times now, with some of the technology, we're actually emailing the contracts and everything. So there's just a couple wet signatures in store.
No kidding.
So 30 minutes is actually on the longer side.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's cool. So again, you do have an assistant. It does help that you have someone to be able to do that, start to finish. So how long did it take you to really get to where you're at and really blossom?
So it took me probably 3-4 years, right? When I started at the store, I came from a store, I was selling 20 cars a month at a store that did 200. Right now I'm at a store that sells 600, 700, 800 cars. I think our record's 1,000 in a month. So, it was totally different. And they're hey, you're going to sell 30, 40 cars a month. And to me, I was that's pretty crazy. That was unheard of.
Sure.
And then it became So then there was a couple months I did 60, and I was this is getting crazy.
Yeah.
And finally, when I did 80, that's when they're well, we'll get you an assistant. Coincidentally, my assistant is my sister-in-law. So, so the dynamic works really good. So we understand each other, work and life balance and things like that.
It's easier when you can tell Hannah what to do when she's your sister-in-law, right?
Oh, well, yeah. But she also talks back a little bit. But so it's a good team dynamic. That's always the question too. I hear from people well, when do you think you need an assistant, right?
Yeah.
Some people say 30. I think that's way too low. I said 60. You start to realize that the assistant's going to help you with the moving the cars and the paperwork and things that you just can't physically do. The more time I spend at my desk, the more deals that I'm going to create.
Yeah, that's true. Well, Cody, thanks for taking a few minutes out of your day here at NADA. I hope you have a great show.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was great talking to you.
Thanks for watching this episode of In the Dirt with ASOTU. If you're new to our channel, make sure and mash that like and subscribe button. Also, check out some of these links for our other great podcasts and content.